So we got Mars, the planet of passion, aggression, motivation, in the sign of Virgo. It's moving into Virgo. So it's coming off that Leo energy. You know, we was supposed to be expressing our passions for the most part, but we was faced with that Lilith pressure, you know what I'm saying? Our deep embarrassments and things, moments that made us feel deep fear for expressing our true self. We was conflicting with that, going back and forth, and we still had to make the decision on pushing our passions forward, you know, and we was having a lot of conflict also with the energy in Taurus, forcing us to actually put real value into what it is that we were trying to put center stage when it came to the things we were expressing that represent our passions. So now with Mars and Virgo, we are getting into the details, and we're starting to iron out some of the more practical aspects of what we've been passionate about and passionately invested into. And you know, this could bring a lot of worrying and stress, but this could actually push us to improve what we already started. What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Dave B. You're watching DaveBeyondTV, where we go beyond the everyday bullshit that people be consuming. And today we breaking down some astrology. So we got a transit movement going on right now. Like I just said, Mars going into Virgo, coming off of you know, the Leo energy and stuff like that. So it's cuspy right now, and it's still in Leo, but very soon we're going to be feeling the full-on effects, and then we'll be starting our introduction into the Virgo aspect. Even though the sun has a little while to go, you know, still another 15 and then another 30 degrees before it's in Virgo, and we experience the end times, the transformation or the mutable period, excuse me, of the summertime, you know, harvest season. Mars is, you know, being a trailblazer. So we're getting a taste of what's kind of to come. See, everything being progression, when you understand astrology, you understand this is really just taking time, you know, or tracking time. And, you know, it's all about the present, really. But we use the future and the past as tools, you know what I'm saying? The past to reflect, improve upon, for better decisions in the present, and in the present we create our future. So you kind of got to look at it like that. And so understanding where the sun is in relation to some of these other planets helps gives you an idea of maybe the different trajectory, or like basically energetically how we're moving forward. So we know that right now leading the pack is Mars. So when it comes to our passions right now are ahead of the game. This is what we're using basically to set the tone for everything that's coming after it. So we got Mars in the lead, and then we got Venus kind of right behind there, but Venus is finna go retrograde. I think Mercury is gonna pass that, but then it's also gonna go retrograde. So, you know, it's many different ways to look at astrology. That's kind of why it's such a powerful tool. You know, it's powerful because it gives you an idea of your own energies and what you can tap into to do this, that, and the third, whatever it is you came here to do. And it's powerful because, you know, it gives you an idea of what's to come. But again, without the divination aspect, when you get too much into divination, this is starting to turn into fortune telling, and we know that a lot of that is bullshit. Now look, if you do that and it works for you, then albeit, you know what I'm saying. But as far as me, like anything I plan for the future never happened exactly how I seen it, so I don't really go with that, you know what I'm saying. I'm like, real life happens. So I look at things that happen in real life as far as understanding. At least with astrology, we know we can look at the energy, so we can tell the energetic temperature of the day, but we can't tell what's actually going to happen on that day. And being in a vibration, even when you're going into a situation with preconceived notions about what you expect to happen, when those things don't happen, you end up looking crazy. You ever tried to practice a conversation before you had it, practice an argument? You was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that, and then what happens? You get into the argument and you can't even remember what you was rehearsing in your room and stuff like that. Matter of fact, you probably lost the argument based upon you having things that, oh man, I was gonna say this, and not till afterwards you remembered all the things you was finna say. Because, you know, real life don't work like that. It's like in the moment you have to be creative, you have to be witty. That's being present. Being present makes you strong, you know what I'm saying. When you try to do everything, prepare everything, overthink, overanalyze, you end up having mistakes and things of that nature, because you just can't predict what's going to actually take place once it happens. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. But all that aside, talking about this Mars energy, so like I was saying, to finish out the concept that I started with, looking at transit charts, and or because the thing is, like, every year there's a different pattern, you know. Different planets go into retrograde at different times, different planets end up being in the front. And, you know, right now we have Mars in the front. So right now, look at it like our passions are leading the way right now. That's kind of what we're looking at. Our sun is actually quite further behind. You know, the sun is still in Cancer, and the Mercury just passed up the sun, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So right now it's like we're doing things a lot further ahead than our actions are actually willing to put in that energy. So you got to look at even where the sun is at. The sun ain't even touched Leo yet we've already been in a space where we've had to express our passions, or at least show what we're passionate about, to you know, put it on some kind of stage. And a lot of what I was saying before too was us polishing the stage, us having to commit to the process without being able to see the full reaping benefits of what we've been investing our time and energy into. We've had to kind of do the hard work, the dirty work, without getting any of the instant gratification. So it's been a delayed gratification time right now, where God really want to see whether or not you are truly invested, and do you truly care about what it is that you say you do. And the only way you can show that is by how, you know, diligent you are, and how patient you are, and willing to actually put in the work without getting any of the necessary benefits, even down to the material aspects of things. Because it's like the reason you might not be materializing at this time is because there is something, you a missing piece. And I feel like this energy right here is all of us coming into the realization or the awareness of where the missing piece is. Now, Mars and Virgo is going to help that, because Mars and Virgo is going to take our passions. Now, we might start worrying about our passions, but like I was saying in the beginning of the video, that might actually be the energy that pushes you to actually solve the problem. A lot of us don't want to solve the problem, and so you push Virgo under the rug, and all it does is create more stress. One thing about Virgo energy, you can't let it go. You can't let it get out of whack. You can't let it go too far beyond its schedule, because that's when you start to get the lower octave of Virgo, which is the Virgo that can't stay organized. It's too concerned with everything that it can't get anything done. You know, for the most part, it's too worried, too stressed out. And that happens when you let things pile up. And before you know it, it's too much to handle for one person. And you know what I'm saying, it starts to need that Gemini help to be two people at one time to be able to, you know, organize everything. Or it drifts off into the delusional Pisces space, this opposite sign, where now the Virgo is trying to, you know, organize things in a very unorthodox way, just because it's too much. You know, this is where a Virgo becomes delusional, and that's very scary when a Virgo gets delusional. But we know about them opposition signs. There's always things each other can learn from each other, and also, you know, ways in which each other go too far, and they start to create kind of an inverted version of its opposite energy. Just like how a Cancer, right, can actually end up being very cold and dismissive, because the way Cancer get down, it's like, yeah, it might seem like it's about emotion, it might seem like it's about care, it might seem like it's about family, but when it comes down to it, the actual relationship itself might be very transactional. It might be very Capricorn like, very dry, and then all that caring and things of that nature, that nurturing, is only apparent in certain aspects. You know what I'm saying? But when, you know, the actual transaction with an actual Cancer, especially if you're not in that space, because you got to be in that space with them for them to actually be giving you that water that you think you was getting. You know what I'm saying? The nurturing, kind-hearted person you thought you was getting into, now you realize, oh, this person is actually very calculated, and they're a bit structured and petty, and a little bit, you know, more strategic than I thought. You know what I'm saying? So it's not all, you know, candies and butterflies and things of that nature. And again, not to say all Cancers are cutthroat like that, but you start to realize, like, a lot of signs play out their opposite traits. You know, just again, it's either in a higher octave or a lower octave. It just kind of depends on the spirit. But all, you know, there's a reason why these energies conflict with each other, or, you know, say create balance with each other, oppose each other. So when you talk about Virgo energy, and speaking of, this is a perfect segue into kind of getting into Mars and Virgo a little deeper. Mars is going to be opposite Saturn in Pisces and Neptune. So right here, we're looking at our passions, and we're looking at the way we structure reality. Now, this is also a powerful opposition. Now, understanding why it's a powerful opposition is because these are two energies that naturally conflict with each other. You know what I'm saying? When we look at Mars, Aries, right, Saturn is exalted in Libra. So what that kind of says is that Saturn actually kind of vibes more so with certain Libra aspects more than it does with Martian aspects. And the reason, and again, we can even see that because Saturn is exalted in Libra, by default, it falls in Aries. That's kind of one of the cool things about this tapestry that me and my girl made. So basically, we put the information, if y'all can see, down below. I got this on the tripod, so I don't feel like moving that joint. But we got the information down here, kind of like for all the asteroids in the nodes, and then we got the information for all the planets up here. So, and information just as far as like exaltations, where it's home at, and things like that, you know. And for the asteroids, just information on them, just so that this is like a tapestry you could really learn with and teach with. You know, we even got our son to kind of like be able to identify like these different signs, and it's real cool tool, you know, to keep in the house. So we got, you know, the 7th house, and then we got the ruling planet, or well, actually start from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Like we got the sign in the innermost circle, and then we got the element, and then we got the ruling planet, and then we got the actual number associated with all that. So it's just a little cool little snippet. I had to kind of brag on it real quick. But getting back to what we was talking about, so that Mars, this is cool because, see, even with this, you can start to see how certain energies, like which ones kind of naturally oppose each other. But getting back to what I was saying, so Saturn is exalted in Libra, and it falls in Aries. And it's like you gotta kind of ask like how to really break down astrology for yourself. It's just to ask questions, get out in life and experience it for yourself, and like really just observe these different things, like why is that. And then when you start to kind of come to certain conclusions, and a lot of that is easier said than done, because you be like, how can I go outside and experience Saturn? Well, you know, we're reminding you that Saturn is about structure, stability. Think of the Aries energy, initiate new way to see and feel. That energy, how can you stay structured with something that you always change in how you see and feel about it? You always sparking some kind of new imagination, some new way to go about things, some new way to express yourself. How can you stay consistent and disciplined with that? You know what I'm saying? You start to, okay. And then when you look at Saturn being exalted in Libra, why is it? Well, Libra is the energy that deals with initiating, creating new ways to think and communicate. Communication is one of the keys. That's how you actually get something up and running. That's how you actually get something to be built, is being able to convey your message to other people who have the skills and abilities to build that. So it's creating a relationship. So you start to understand, okay, when it comes to Saturn like things, structure, reality, you actually need more communication involved with it. You need more ways of thinking and logic that can put the pieces together. Now, when you look at the ruling planets of Saturn, or where Saturn's home at, not said the ruling planets of Saturn, but where Saturn is home at, 1 second, hold on. Oh man, I sneezed, bro. I got to sneeze when it was playing with me. I'm like, dang, I'm looking crazy. But trying to get it out. But for the most part, when you look at Saturn, is home in Capricorn and Aquarius. This is the air sign and the earth sign. So you start to understand, okay, like Saturn is this earthy element, and it needs communication. You know what I'm saying? Aquarius being fixed communication, organization, associations, things like that, and you know, more of a association type of relationship. And then we look at Libra, which is a partnership, not necessarily romantic, even though a lot of people like to put it in that space. But the 7th house is really just, it can be as transactional as it needs to be. It could be platonic, it could be business, it could be romantic. It's all different. It all depends on the context, but it's about partnership, and specifically the one-on-one partnership. So, you know, it just kind of takes you down a line of reasoning to understand the essence behind that planet and that energy. And once you start to kind of do this on your own time, you're able to put certain pieces together, looking at your own natal chart that, you know, again, that just enhance your understanding of it. Now, when we look at Mars energy in this opposition, why I say it's kind of a better one, because Mars has a lot to learn from Saturn. You know what I'm saying? Because Mars has the willpower, the strength, the actual, the youth. If you think of Saturn as an older energy, an older grandfather figure, right? Masculine. You know what I'm saying? It no longer can do all the things that it needs to do in order to keep things up and running. So what it does is it invests wisdom and advice structure to its grandson, the young adult, or you know what I'm saying, the 20-year-old, the 18-year-old who just got into college, who has all the energy, libido, the testosterone in the world to get things done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, I can bestow my information, I can bestow my lessons, my structure onto you for you to be able to fulfill what needs to be done. Now, Mars energy being the younger adult, again, still has a bit of that rebellious streak, still wants to do things its way, and needs to fall and fail on its own, has so much energy it doesn't know where to focus on. So this is where, again, that opposition can actually work, where your passions that were once all over the place now is put in a situation where it has to create balance. Now this could either go positive or negative based upon your perspective, based upon what you choose to do as a spirit on your own time. I blow my nose or something? Hold on. Yeah. That helped. My bad. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, that shit bothering me. But for the most part, so you're looking at these two energies that's able to provide balance with each other. You know what I'm saying? Able to, now, okay, with our passions, we need to balance this out with Saturn, and how you balance this out. Like, again, this is Virgo energy and this is Pisces energy. Now, ironically, Saturn is in Pisces. So how we even seeing structure and reality, we're trying to build our dream, but Mars here in Virgo is opposing that. So with Mars here, again, it's taking our passions and making us find the details in them. And from those finding the details in our passions, we're able to kind of see where we can balance and apply that with our dreams. Now, our passions and our dreams are going to look like two different things, but look at this, peep this. With Virgo aspects, right? Virgo and Pisces is like, there's a difference between goals and dreams. Goals are the practical things that help materialize the dream. The dream is only there to really inspire you to go further than you could imagine. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's there to inspire you to go further. The dream is what a lot of people think they're trying to achieve, but that's not really what they're trying to achieve. A dream is something you experience. A goal is something you achieve. A goal is something that you put on a checklist to complete. You know what I'm saying? So goals are meant to be reached. Dreams are meant to be really inspiration and things that we might not ever actually get to. And see, it's not about chasing a dream. It's about bringing a dream to you. And the way you bring a dream to you is by, again, it's a certain perspective you take on the dream, again, embodying that dream. Because that's the thing. For dreams to work, you have to experience it. You know what I'm saying? And experiencing a dream, like, think about mutable water. It's not about having to be in a certain place, having to be, it's not even about, like I said, it's not about achieving your dream. It's about being your dream, experiencing your dream, no matter where you are. So whatever it is that you think as a dream you're trying to manifest or materialize, the thing is, you're not trying to actually materialize that. You're trying to, you are in a way, but you're not thinking about it in the right context. A dream is something you can experience right here, right now. Just put yourself in that space. Then what you do is you go over here to Virgo, the most slept on sign. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to y'all. One of the most slept on signs, and you start to set goals for yourself, put certain things in routine and pattern, and start to achieve these goals. As you achieve these goals, you materialize by default. Next thing you know, it's like, think about how powerful that is to be experiencing your dream. And it's hard to do that because everything around you in reality is not going to necessarily reflect that. But that's what the 12th house, that's what Pisces energy is all about. That imagination, damn near delusional. So that's how you use delusions to your benefit. But the only thing, the issue that happens is we get lost in that aspect. We spend too much time in that delusion that we forget that the other aspect of that is the work, that the other aspect is taking the time to go in and day out and do that. We're supposed to be doing these things at the same time. As you set these goals and put things on routine and pattern, you put yourself in a position to materialize. Materializing and experiencing two different things. But what happens is when you do them at the same time, you start to blend these things. This is where you create this balance in your life that, you know, it's very hard to explain, but this is you living your dream. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like you're not supposed to chase dreams, because that's you putting your dream in the sixth house. You then turn your dream into a job. Now, people have things called dream jobs, but think about what that is. A dream job is it's like that's something you can materialize for yourself, actually. You know what I'm saying? Because you turn your dream into an achievable goal, something that can actually, that you've materialized, that can actually grant you material, you know, gifts and things of that nature. But that ain't even really what it is. That's more so taking your 12th house to your second house. You know what I'm saying? Or taking it to your 10th house and making it something you know for. Is turn it into a career. Now it's like you're experiencing that career and it don't even feel like work. You're able to gain resources based upon that dream or that idea, or you valued it enough to where now that value is pouring back into you, and now you can experience safety, security, and stability based upon your ability to tap into that space and experience that dream. But what I'm explaining is more so just talking about these two energies in general. You know what I'm saying? Because manifesting a dream job for yourself, not everybody dreams of work. You know what I'm saying? Like, who said that? I think Earth the Kick said that shit. It's like, who dreams of work? I don't dream of work and stuff like that, because working and dreaming is really two different things. But, you know, you can find different balance in your life based upon whatever it is that you want to do, because not everybody wants a dream job. But when it comes to dreams in general, this is a separate energy from work and goals. Dreams and goals are two different things, and you need to experience your dreams and you need to work towards your goals. But you have to keep both of these things, because that's the balance. The balance is you do need to have something that you're working on every day. But the other balance is that use the dream to motivate the action to work. You know what I'm saying? And again, if you could find a blend where you can work on something that you like, and that's what we all need to be doing. And that's the whole reason why all this I'm putting out these courses and made the ebook, because it's like we all deserve to, well, hey, we don't all deserve anything, but if you are on your journey, you putting in the work, you deserve some kind of balance when it comes to being able to do what you love, in order to, you know, doing something that you love or that you are happy doing, and still be on the path to achieve your dream. And hopefully you can make these things look synonymous, where, okay, you know, boom. But here we are. This is one of the perfect trances for this kind of thing, because Mars and is gonna it's either gonna make you hyperfixate on the details of your passions, or it's going to make you passionately invested into getting into the details, into making, looking at the functionality of things. And you can use this energy to balance out with Saturn, where now Saturn in retrograde is already bringing past ways you were going about structuring your dreams, or past way you was going about reality that may have been delusional. And this is where you can utilize Mars energy to start to correct these things, start to go to war with all those aspects of yourself that you was falling into the delusion about, that wasn't actually contributing to you manifesting what you wanted to manifest, that was actually taking you further away. Because at this point in time, you're going to be able to see all the different indications of old ways you was going about your dream that just wasn't adding up to anything materializing, wasn't adding up to you getting anywhere. Now those are dreams that you can officially say, okay, let me toss that. And even if it's a dream you actually do want to keep around, you can start to reassess it and put in different kinds of energy to get different kind of results. We already know you have to change up how you do things in order to see the results manifest for yourself. Now, along with this Mars and Virgo opposing this energy, and it's opposing Neptune, so again, dreams. Now, don't let your passions, don't let your frustration kill your dreams, aka don't stress out so much about whether or not your dream can work. Put in the work to make it work. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's really more so about how you go about things, not so much what. So if you see yourself and you're like, damn, this ain't working, really Mars and Virgo should be you trying to adjust your process of going about that thing. You know what I'm saying? Start to think about it differently in a way that's more practical. Start to take more of a passionate interest, or more, you know, have more motivation towards, or more of a desire towards asking yourself those hard questions, getting into the root of the practicality or whatever it is that you're building. You know what I'm saying? Get to the root of practicality and it's not going to work so much with Neptune in your dreams, because your dreams are meant to be a little impractical. They're meant to be a little bit all over the place. So don't let that frustrate you, you know, especially if you don't see things around you materializing in the speed in which you feel as though they should. It's like, you know, again, you can't tell when things are actually going to work for you. All you can do is prepare. All you can do is put in the energy to make it possible. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only faith you really need. If you know you putting in effort to make something possible, then by all means it's going to come to you. It's not going to come in the way you want, in the way you might have expected or wanted. I said want, but it's not going to come in the way you need. It's not going to come in the way you thought it would. But it's coming because you've created the opportunity for it to be possible, for it to manifest into your life and be something material. So, you know, that's kind of how you also balance out this energy, but also take the energy of Mars and you trying it with Jupiter, because we got Jupiter, Uranus, and the North Node at 0 degrees in Taurus. So Mars trining Jupiter is expanding on our passions in a practical like way. So again, this is expanding on the details, expanding on what aspects of your process or what aspects of your passions, what aspects of your dreams are actually capable. I wouldn't even say if it's capable or not. This is you expanding on the practical aspects of it. So this could also be the opportunity, the gift of being able to expand on your passions, to see the details, or expanding on details, expanding on the practical aspects of what can make your dream or your passions work. You know, there's many different ways, because this Jupiter energy is in a beautiful position to trine this Mars energy and also sextile this Pisces energy. So right now you have a beautiful situation where, again, there's opportunities and gifts when it comes to being able to materialize. But we just have to stay strong and vigilant on our dreams and not let these things create so much self-doubt within us that we lose our faith and we lose our steam in whatever we was reaching for. Because again, dreams are meant to be slightly unattainable in this world, in this reality. And it's not until we come up with a creative way to materialize it that in coming up with a creative way to materialize it has to come from you both experiencing it, but also setting realistic goals. Because as you set realistic goals, the power of reality is that it actually expands you. It actually is like putting in practice to become more of what it is that you're trying to embody, just based upon the emotions and being in that space, the dream. You know what I'm saying? This is how being on task, being on schedule can actually help your dream, because as you start to put the consistency behind whatever it is goal that you have that's beyond this realm, you actually make it, like I was saying before, you make it possible. You open the opportunity for all possibilities to work through you. Having blind faith with no work is bullshit, and it'll never get you where you want to go, because it's not real. It's a delusion. And that is where people fuck up with their dreams. You haven't put in the work to make it possible to be manifested in reality. So it's not going to come in reality. But it's the people who are diligent and willing to actually put in to set the. Somebody had said something about the mind. I think it was Jerry Seinfeld, and talking about the mind. You have to treat it like a child. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say this, but he was basically saying you have to give the mind limits, basically, is what he was saying, because he was talking about creativity. And I was watching a video talking about creativity, how this is like literally they compared it to a stallion, and was like, either that stallion, you're going to learn how to tame it and ride it, or that shit can kill you. You know what I'm saying? Stomp right over you, flip you right over, and boom, 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 because it's a powerful movement. And that's the thing with creativity and really in this context, dreams are powerful. But if you don't learn how to tame them, either you're gonna have to let it go in the wild, you'll let it kill you, or you'll finally get a hold of it and harness that power and be able to direct it in the way you want to direct it. But you got to look at it like the mind. The mind is what you create that can be a powerhouse for you, or it can destroy you. The mind is what destroys a lot of spirits, because they get trapped in it. They put too many harsh ramifications on themselves, and they start to identify with all the things that they are not. And the next thing you know, you're killed by your own mind. You let your mind confine your spirit, and now you trapped in hell. And you really think you are this, and it eats away at you. You know what I'm saying? But really, we need to be giving the mind. We need to be telling the mind what it is supposed to do, giving the mind limits, giving the mind restrictions, just like you would a child. Because yeah, you might want your child to go free and be, you know what I'm saying, because you wanted to be free as a kid. So maybe you're that type of parent, but you start to soon realize, I need to get this nigga a bedtime. You know what I'm saying? I need to get this nigga a bedtime. I need to tell, again, we in the store, like, hey, get up off the floor. You know what I'm saying? You start to realize, no, I need to I need to put restrictions and boundaries on this shit so that it don't go out of control. And that's how your mind is. Your mind easily can go out of control. And the thing is, dreams and stuff like that entice your mind, because it starts to make dreams. You got to look at it that way too. Dreams, the 12th house trines the 8th house, and it trines the 4th house. You know, the water houses. A dream can easily turn into a desire, and that desire can turn into a comfort zone. Recipe for addiction. You know what I'm saying? Needing that desire, that scratch from that desire itched, and going to something familiar or safe. You know what I'm saying? And going to something 12th house that helps you escape back into that pleasure. And then that can, you know what I'm saying? You escape in the 12th house, you go right to that pleasure that's soothing the body, and then you go right to the 4th house, and you confine yourself and make that your comfort zone. So, you know, it's a cycle of addiction. You know what I'm saying? Easily understanding addiction through your water houses, because whatever's in that 12th house is going to be your escape mechanism. And wherever you go, it's most likely going to have something to do with something you desire or something that you want that can potentially soothe the body. And then it's going to go to that 4th house. Comfortable. Campbell's. Good. You know what I'm saying? Eating up whatever it is that's supplying that pleasure. Not always the case. And we going off on a mean tangent, but I had to get that off, because it's like the mind is crazy. You know what I'm saying? If you don't tame your mind, you don't train your mind to work how you need it to work, it'll work you. And that's the last thing you want to do, because it's a terrible thing to waste, but it's even more of a terrible thing to let control you, let consume you, let think it runs the show. You know what I'm saying? Just like, again, think about how miserable you would be as a parent if your kid was running the show. This little nigga don't even know how this shit works. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot to learn from kids. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot to learn from kids. But it's just like, the reality of it is like, she can't run the show. You know what I'm saying? No. You need to be the responsible one. You need to set the boundaries. You need to be taking care of the responsibilities. And when it comes to your dreams, you are the one responsible for making these things work. And a lot of times people project that pressure and responsibility on everybody around them. Even how you get the victim energy is birthed from this, because from an emotional aspect, you expect everybody to cater to your emotions, or to cater to how you feel, because you feel as though you cater to how they feel. But a lot of that be selfish, a lot of that be short-sighted. You don't really, you know what I'm saying, you don't really be doing all the things that you think. So you play the victim. You think everybody's supposed to do things for you, when no, you responsible for you. 12th and 6th house. You responsible for your situation. You're the reason why you're in the position you're in. When you start looking at life like that, you know, you start to kind of like remind yourself, like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. Let me get back in the mode of starting to kind of contain these things. And that's the thing, as we get into more of these earth alignments, because we've been dealing with a lot of water and fire this past week. So now it's like this is starting to shift into more of an earth time, you know what I'm saying? Because we got this grand earth trine that we're going to get back into, but we also got so it's going to be a lot more earth in the sky, and things are going to be shifting towards earth. Mercury is going to make its way into Leo, and I think it's going to retrograde eventually. And the sun will be moving into Leo, so it'll be more of a fire earth vibe going on. And then, you know, so we're kind of coming away from that water. But what did the water do for us? Right now, the water is helping us with our dreams and correlating back to what we actually care about. And that's where the current moment is now. But see, as this moves into the Virgo energy, right, we're still going to get this sextile between the sun and Mars. And that's going to be the opportunity to start to etch out basically Mars is going to be able to see what's needed in order for the sun to feel comfortable. So Mars is almost like acting out as a soldier to make sure that the mother is good. So, Mars and Virgo is like the good son for Cancer, Cancer sun. So it's like, okay, seeing what Cancer needs in order for it to feel comfortable. So that's kind of how we could use that opportunity. And then this is going to be the willpower to actually go through those dry, mundane experiences, put in the work and the effort for us to actually create a circumstance for our sun sign, for how we see things to feel comfortable, for how we see ourselves to even feel comfortable and like it's on track or more practical and in the mode of where it needs to be at for itself. You know what I'm saying? So as you get these different energies, going back to what I was saying. So, Mars and Virgo, again, being willing to, like I was saying about responsibility, being able to accept, like, oh, this is, everybody got to get more responsible at this time. This is a time to get more responsible. And being that we're in this time where we're putting together this new sense of awareness within this new world, this is the aspect that's preparing us for Leo season. This is kind of like, if you would think like before a performance, this is you making sure your hair is right, your hair and makeup, making sure everything look good, making sure, okay, yeah, my teeth clean, I got all the lint off, you know what I'm saying, got the right amount of stuff on my face, okay, cool, I'm not too greasy, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is you do to make sure you look the part. That's what Virgo is doing. So Mars and Virgo is able to clean up the act. You know what I'm saying? You want to look at it as more so cleaning up the act. So the different things that Mars puts you through, again, the things that start to become triggered based upon you worrying, you could choose to worry and stress yourself out, or you can choose to say, oh, this is actually making me aware of what I need to adjust and maybe put more work into. And like I was saying, getting into the Grand Earth trine, again, this energy, we talked about expanding through Jupiter, but this is also tapping us into making us more direct focus on our individuality. You know what I'm saying? We're able to now take our individuality, become more passionate about it, put more energy and effort into actually, because Uranus is almost like telling Mars, like, look, I've been trying to do this for my stability, security, and safety. What do I need to adjust, or how can I improve? And that's where Mars can now jump into its energy. Now, the things that's going to make Mars frustrated is not being able to do that to its fullest. So again, you might be frustrated you haven't been putting in the work. You might be frustrated and stressed out because you lack the funds to support what it is that you're trying to manifest or do as a dream. You might actually be pissed off at yourself, but again, use that as fuel to get up off your ass and get to it, because that's all Mars is going to want to do in an earth sign. You know what I'm saying? It's exalted in Capricorn, but in Virgo, it does pretty, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's about the details. It's about it's willing to put in the work for the day-to-day task. And that is actually way more powerful. So right now, the focus needs to be on consistency. How consistent can you be? How can you start to structure this thing? And like I said, create the opportunity for that thing, that dream to manifest right before your eyes. And it's going to take you needing to start to set goals that is able to be accomplished on a day-to-day. You know what I'm saying? Creating that consistency with yourself. How you set your goals is up to you though. So you can set whatever goals you want, but just make sure it's an actual goal and something that you can do, something that's attainable, something that's tangible. It doesn't have to be the most complex thing. In fact, it's actually 10 times more effective if you keep it as simple as possible, because the second you start to make it too complex, you put yourself in unnecessary pressure and you actually can discourage yourself based upon how convoluted you done made getting from point A to point B to B, when all it had to do was just pick something that's related to you in the energy of your dream and then do that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a writer, you want to be a screenwriter, or you want to make a movie, tell yourself you're going to write 2 pages a day. Finish the script. You know what I'm saying? As you finish the script, okay, boom, that's step 1. Next, figure out how to shoot. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's more steps to go into that. We can get deeper into it, but it's like, your best bet with Mars and Virgo especially is to simplify every dream that you have. Simplify it. Be like, okay, if you want to be a musician, what you have to do? Okay, well, I need to make songs, and then maybe drop an album, and then maybe learn how to market that album, and then maybe shoot a music video. Like, keep it simple. I want to be a musician. Okay, we'll start with making music. Okay, even if you don't know how to make music, Learn how to make, like, it comes down to, you're gonna have to make a song. So spend 2 hours making a song a day, or an hour. You start 30 minutes trying to make a song and work on that. Actually put the effort. Be like, okay, an hour a day, I'm gonna dedicate to just making a song. Write a song, whether it's you writing, you trying to make a beat, whatever it is, give yourself 1 hour a day. Boom, boom, boom. You do that enough times, again, it might be very slow, but you guarantee that you're gonna see results. You know what I'm saying? Because you're putting it into practice. So right now, it's like, even with Mars energy, that's another signifier, putting things into practice. We need to put our goals into practice. We need to put our passions into practice. I should say that. Passions into practice. All that passions into practice. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you do see as a passion for yourself, start to put that into some kind of practice. Come up with a practice. Do something in a routine that reflect you being in that energy. I kind of said that for the dream aspect, but that's going to be the big thing. And then also it's going to try the North Node. So being passionately invested into your spiritual path. And this energy is going to shift into Aries. So there's going to be kind of a nice relation with those energies, even though Virgo and Aries in conjunct. But, again, as you put these energies now, that gift is enough to carry everything over. Now, getting into, let me see, Mars in, trine in Pluto. So the gift of transformation. So your passions can be transformative. Your passions can be something that you can use as a gift to help you take power and control over your status. So again, polishing things, making sure things are up to date, making sure things are polished, and I said polishing already, but making sure things are perfected, but not in the sense of trying to strive for perfection, but you're in the process of, you could be in the process of perfecting something, but understand that nothing can be perfect. So don't stress yourself out on trying to get perfect. Just be in the energy of, this is being perfected. This is being improved upon. This is being, polished. And that'll help you, because whatever it is that you're doing, adjusting, changing for your status, or for your passions, you can start to make that look like something that's on par with the status that you're trying to build for yourself. So think in terms of that too. When you're trying to put together things for your passions, get it to where it looks right for your status. Get it to where it looks like it belongs with whatever you're trying to present for yourself, as far as a new status for yourself. And that's going to be that trine. We're going to get a slight sextile with Mercury, I think, so opportunities to have our passions on our mind. Again, thinking more about what we care about and be able to take our passions and create the opportunity to make it more visible in our life, based upon how we can dedicate ourselves to whatever routine schedule to help us work to achieve whatever it is that we need to put into place, so that our surroundings, our situation looks as comfortable as possible. But yeah, that's Mars and Virgo for the most part. Mars and Virgo, it's mutable Earth. So it's adapting to your own and other ways of gaining, structure, thinking, being practical, and things of that nature. So, this is a time that you can utilize to really learn a lot, learn a lot about yourself. And like I said, put in the work that's actually needed for things to start to manifest in your life, for things to start to materialize. Shout out to Esoteric. I don't know if I said his name right, but on IG, man, because he broke this down on Threads. He was like, manifesting is pulling the trait out of thin air. You know what I'm saying? The thing that you can do to materialize. So manifestation and materializing is like within the same category, but it's like you really manifesting the capability, you really manifesting the situation. And then what you do with that is put in action into that to materialize, you know what I'm saying? Actually bring the thing here. So a lot of times, people be stuck in manifestation. So you just stuck with a capability, but you ain't doing nothing with it. You stuck with a circumstance, but you ain't doing nothing with it. You got to actually put that into work. And once you put that into work, then you can materialize what you was actually trying to manifest. Because see, that's how people miss their blessings. Because it'd be like, you done spend all this time manifesting and don't even realize the thing right in front of your eyes is what you need to use in order to materialize further. Because people would just stop at manifesting. Oh, I wanted to manifest $1 million. You manifested the capability to make $1 million, but you chose not to. You know what I'm saying? Because you was too blinded, too short-sighted. You had to be able to say, oh, actually this skill, this capability that I done brought to myself is what I need to jump in and participate with to get my material from the manifestation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I thought that was a cool way to kind of break down that or give context to that, you know what I'm saying, as we continue on our journey. You know what I'm saying? That goes hand in hand with dreams and goals. You know, remember, those are two separate things. But anyway, I have to say it, you know what I'm saying? If you are looking for a personal consultation, please do not hesitate to head to my website, DaveBeyond.com. Go to the shop section and scroll all the way down. You'll see all my services available. My ebook is also on that page. Check it out if you're a artist. You know, artist development is a lost art these days. That's what they say. And brand development is difficult sometimes. So astrology, I use it as a tool to give to you, to show you how to do it for yourself so that you can make this process as easy as possible when it comes to blending your personal, professional, and your spiritual goals as best as you can. You know what I'm saying? I know these things are vastly different, but at least here we can bring something together and create some kind of journey for you. Or I don't say create a journey, you create your journey, but this is at least giving you a tool book that you can start to utilize to help you materialize along your path. 717 conference is less than a week away, so please go ahead, check out the link below, get your tickets if you're able to be in Atlanta on the 15th. And I think that's about it. So much love. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.